everywhere.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I finally found someone to treat me right.
Yes.
And that's I Love to Love by Jody Watley. And oh my word, Jody Watley's here.
Good morning.
How are
Come
you?
on.
I'm fabulous.
This is a very busy studio, I can tell you. Right, I'm just going to say a few words first. Singer-songwriter, producer, businesswoman,
Yes.
fashion icon. I like that.
Yes.
One of the first artists to connect music with an absolute fashion statement, which I very, very much like as well. Grammy Award winner, mustn't forget that.
Yes.
And of course in '84 you were with Band Aid and Do They Know It's Christmas?
Yes.
And 2008, recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award from Billboard magazine for music.
Yes. I'm just
I mean,
getting
what about
started.
it? It's fantastic. How's the journey here?
It's great. This is tonight I was saying will be my first full London concert, a comprehensive Jody Watley music journey. And you get Jody Watley, you got some Shalimar tunes in there and new music, and and the weather's great here. It's fabulous.
Brilliant, isn't it? And that's tonight is Under the Bridge of Fulham, isn't it?
Yes.
Just get that in.
Yes.
And you're on about 8:30?
Yes, I go in at 8:30, and I'm not one of these artists that go in like 2 hours late.
No, that's
I'm on
the
time.
that's
Okay.
exact. Tell them
Yes,
on time.
on
right.
time.
Okay. Okay. A few questions. What was your biggest influence?
My biggest influence, I'm inspired by, music, literature. I love poetry growing up. I started writing poetry, which turned into songwriting, fashion, photography, models. And so everything that I do is, in some of the great soul music. I love jazz music.
Oh, I don't jazz.
And,
Is it true that your godfather was Jackie Wilson?
yes, that is true.
Oh, I got that one
Yeah.
out. There's a few more I'm going to ask you later as
Yeah.
well. So the next tune we've got coming up is Waiting in Vain. What is the backstory behind that?
I love Bob Marley. Phenomenal. And I did a version of Waiting in Vain. I love since the jazz bossa nova feel.
Yeah.
And I think when you make over a classic song, it should, bring a new perspective to it that maybe people hadn't thought before. And so really love that. It's a beautiful video to it. You can find it on my YouTube
And that
channel.
was 2006, am I correct? Was that time?
There's one version that came out in 2006, but I released a new one in 2018. That's the jazzy bossa nova.
Oh, we
one.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so here we are with Waiting in Vain.
Yes.
There we go. Now, that was a fantastic tune.
Thank you.
You got your break at age 14
Mm.
on Soul Train.
Yes.
Tell me about that, because that was just amazing. I saw the YouTube video. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I at the time Soul Train was the show, iconic television show, and when my family moved to Los Angeles, that was my mission to be on the show. And I eventually became one of the more popular dancers on the show for not just my dancing but my style, and that ultimately led to the popularity, led to when Don Cornelius started the group Shalimar. He chose me to be in the group. So it was fun. Soul Train, and you can see all the videos now on YouTube.
Which is
and,
fantastic.
yeah.
In fact, you were one of the first people with Madonna and Jackson that got awards from MTV.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't want to go on MTV because they were giving away stuff, but you were up there.
Yeah, yeah. And it's I've always been comfortable. I think when I was a little girl, performing in the mirror got me ready for performing in front of the, I was ready for my close-up.
That's brilliant. The other big thing was in 2008, the Vogue Italia magazine.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big jump. That was amazing.
Yeah, to be in the historic black issue of Vogue magazine, Italian Vogue, was quite an honor, and it sold out. They kept having to reprint it.
Oh, wow.
And Francesca Sazzani was really visionary, and she wanted to bring to light that the lack of diversity in the fashion industry. And so again, it was, and I didn't know I was going to be in it until it came out. And the photograph of me is photographed by Herb Ritz, and
right. So do you have, let's mix music here with fashion, do you have a formula or you just let it come?
It's a vibe. It's
Okay,
always
I like
a
that.
vibe, you know. And, you know, from when I was a little girl, you know, I just always loved putting different things together. And to be an artist and to, you know, it's always about the music, but really to have identifiable style. And for me, it just comes from always wanting to be myself, whatever, you know, if it's I'm not trying to be like anyone else. And
Absolutely.
you know,
Well, you're not.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Yep.
The next tune we have is The Passion, and that's with SRL?
SRL, yeah, it's a side project, an entity.
What does SRL stand for?
Soul Revolution Love.
Oh, I love
I'm
that.
all about it.
Okay, so here we go with The Passion.
Love it. I love this song. Thank you. Passion, and you can hear this on all the outlets. Yes. All right.
We're back again. We're back again.
Yes.
Let's get my mic up. There you go. I said sorting myself out there. Thank you. What inspires you?
Life. Being alive, you know, and it sounds cliche, but I really, you know, to live in gratitude no matter if it's a rough day, if it's a great day, and continuing to be an inspiration to others. I think that is a part of what I do with my music. It means a lot to me to inspire others to be strong and to persevere and to be yourself and to not worry if, you know, it's okay if people don't like you. That's all right.
like that,
You know,
yeah.
you don't have to fit yourself into a box so that people, just being you. And, you know, a lot of my fans, they say that really, through their dark times, like it helps them. And so that really means a lot to me, to inspire others.
So if I was a young artist just starting out, what sort of shape would you put me in? What would you advise me?
To be prepared to work. Again, and I keep saying to be yourself, because this is an industry that will always be trying to make you be someone you're not, to be someone else.
I think that's
And you have to fight for yourself, and that never ends. Like, you know, if you're a new artist, if you're a veteran artist, and be true and learn the business of music. That is very important.
So hard work?
It's hard work, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I say there's a difference in, you know, if you want to be a pop star, R&B star, if you want to be a quote unquote celebrity, if you want to be an artist, you know, you're going to go through highs and lows, and you're going to go against the grain, and you'll be all right with that. You're going to be fearless about your art and what you're doing. And my music definitely, because there's so many different genres and styles, and I'm never trying to really fit anywhere. I'm just trying to express what I feel in my heart at any particular time.
So really be yourself.
Be yourself, yeah. In a world full of, you know, wannabes and imitators, be yourself, because everybody else is taken. And it sounds cliche, but it's true. And, you know, especially, you know, I love social media. I'm very active on it. But people get caught up. It's like the most important like you can get is to like yourself.
I like that.
Yes.
Yes, I think we all like that. Next tune is Saturday Night Experience, and it's
Yeah.
backstory to that.
Saturday Night Experience, I wrote that, in that project came at a time where, you know, I had almost decided to step away completely from the music business.
Oh, really?
And I'd taken 3 years off, and I heard the album For Hero, 2 Pages, was a big inspiration. British, I mean, it's just wonderful. And I wrote it with Rodney Lee, who we've collaborated on a lot of great stuff together. And you know, it's a, like I say, it's a vibe. It's very unique. It's my love of jazz and soul. It's Tony's favorite song, so that
Yeah.
he has it on vinyl,
Right.
and it's like, oh, the hardcore fans know it, and if you don't know it, this is wicked.
Here we go.
Yes.
Oh! We'll have some time over there. With her.
asked you this question earlier.
Yes.
What does Jody do on her days off?
Work.
That's the answer I got, yeah.
When you are an entrepreneur and you're self-employed, you're always working on something. I'm either studying or, taking care of business or making things. You have to be the captain of your own ship. You work all the time. And aside from that, I love cooking. It's very relaxing. I'm a great cook. I love to bake. I don't do it as much as I should. Yeah, make fresh bread. Mainly during the holidays, but I love to read. And those are just a couple things.
Okay, so what's your favourite meal? What do you like cooking?
My favorite meal. That's a good question. That's a good question. I make a really delicious. It's like a Mediterranean chicken dish, and now that I've tried to be a little more on the vegetarian side, I make great vegetable Mediterranean. I love Indian and Mediterranean flavors. I make the best Thanksgiving butter rolls that you'll ever have. They melt in your mouth.
Sounds dangerous. On back to good questions. Did you teach Aretha Franklin to dance?
I gave Aretha Franklin, rest in peace, wonderful, and she was just supportive of me and one of the greats of all time, of course. But she wanted to learn how to do the robot when I was a dancer on Soul Train. So I would go out to her place, her home in Encino. She lived in Encino at the time. And I would give the Queen of Soul robot lessons. And it was surreal to this day when I think about it. And then at the time, she was doing a show at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, Los Angeles. And she chose me to be in her show for Natural Woman. There were 4 dancers, each represented, you just come out and take a twirl. But she chose me to represent the entertainer. And, I was still a dancer on the show. So she foresaw that, and throughout I performed for her at her last Christmas event by special request for her. I get choked up, but just a phenomenal woman.
So what's new for Jody?
Good Reason is my new single with Brian Power, and it's a feel good track, and to continue to write and or collaborate with wonderful people like Brian Power and still produce quality music, because some artists, they'll put stuff out and it's like, well, maybe you should have thought again on putting it out. But it's really anything that comes from Jody Watley, or if I'm collaborating with someone, it's always top shelf, and this is another one, if I must say it. And just a feel-good track. And I have other things in the pipeline, and I'm the type of person, I don't like to say it, I don't like to talk about it, I am about it. So more things are coming. That's all I'll say. Okay, so
we get this full exposure into No Breakers this month. Well, I know you've got to rush.
Yes.
Sorry about that, but it's been an absolute pleasure, hasn't it, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay, so tonight, don't forget, Under the Bridge in Fulham, 8:30.
8:30, and there'll be a DJ spinning some tunes before, and good vibes, so come out and experience the Jody Watley concert experience. Darling.
Jody Watley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
All right. Yes. Good night.